And it says, we are live. I'm here. You're beautiful. It's Thursday night. That must mean it's time for GotBot Goes Live. I, of course, am your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, a.k.a. GotBot. As always, man, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe. And while you are at it, light them up, baby. Hit the notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton, and it lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links, all that in the description down below, baby. And while you're at it, man, hit the subscribe button, stick around, and have some fun with us here on the channel. Okay, so I'm just going to adjust this ever so slightly. And this ever so slightly. Before we get started, I guess on my spoiler-free reactions to Rise of the Beast, certainly I'm not going to ruin anything. Let me put it that way. I'm certainly not going to ruin anything. I'm going to try and be as informative as I can without kind of ruining anything. Anything that's been in the previews, you know, that we've talked about here on the live show, it's kind of fair game. So I sort of know what that is. So I trust me, I won't ruin anything. We will also talk about some legacy leaks and a couple of legacy reveals, some news from Newage, some news from threezero, some news from Super 7. But before we do all that, and while I'm getting things set up, we are going to have a moment of silence for the late, great Iron Sheik. I of course, am a huge wrestling fan, and the Iron Sheik was a go-between champion, really. A lot of people remember him as a tag team wrestler with Nikolai Volkov and singing the Russian national anthem and stuff, even though it wasn't the national anthem. No one really knew what Nikolai was singing. But he was the kind of go-between champion of the 6-year reign of Bob Backlund and about the 4-year reign of Hulk Hogan. And Hulk Hogan's victory over him is really what kicked off Hulkamania in the 80s. So very prolific among wrestling fans. So we will do a moment of silence for him. 81. He had been sick for some time. And even if you weren't a wrestling fan, man, his Twitter was gold. I mean, it was outlandish. It was wild and probably offensive, but it was gold. So a moment of silence for the late, great Iron Sheik. Okay, let me just make sure I got everything set up here. And then we will get going. If there are spoilers in the chat, I will remove those comments. If they're explicit spoilers, right? Some things, like, I guess are spoiler-ish, but like it's already been broken and we know about it. Like, it's not a surprise for me to mention Unicron because we know it, right? He's been shown. We know the voice actor. We've seen him in the trailers and stuff. So like, that's not a spoiler. You know what I mean? Hey Joel, hey Ultra Megatronus, Dragonfly, happy you're here. Hey Caldeo. Excited for the movie tomorrow. See, for example, Dragonfly, excited for the movie tomorrow, so I'm not going to ruin anything tonight. If anything, I hope I kind of hype it up for you a little bit more. Hey Jim. Nope, no spoilers. No spoilers, buddy. Hey Deceptibot. What is your 1 to 10 rating for Rise of the Beast? I'll get into it. I mean, you're putting the cart before the horse, Caldeo. Putting the cart before the horse. Hey, Jay. Let's see. Yeah, Sheik, right? I mean, iconic for anybody who knew him. I remember that a person I follow is also a wrestling fan. Maybe you two could find some common ground in terms of wrestling. Maybe. I mean, my whole life. It started. A lot of people ask me, like, why are you into wrestling? Like, it's the soap opera for dudes and blah blah blah. And like, it is, but that's the thing. And people will be like, oh, that's fake. But like, it doesn't pretend to be real, right? It used to, but and truth is, you do have to suspend reality. But it's no more fake than anything else we watch, But I will say this. For me, it started with my grandfather when I was as young as I can literally remember. It was what he and I connected over, and he passed away when I was 8. So it's I have very few memories of him, but the ones I do largely center around wrestling. So it is something that still sort of keeps me connected to him. And I guess, of course, I'm invested now in the characters and the stories and whatnot. But it's something that does harken back to, 6, 7, 8-year-old me, right? Again, it's that nostalgia thing. If anybody knows nostalgia, it's Transformers fans. By the way, our weather's been nuts. We had thunder and lightning earlier. So if something happens and like we get thunder and lightning again, it's sunny out now. Welcome to Newfoundland. But like if things go sideways and I end up disappearing, that's probably why, because it'll be a weather related thing this time. Super stoked to see the movie tomorrow. See, a bunch of people are excited to see the movie tomorrow. So I am not going to ruin it at all. I can't remember who's Unicron's voice actor. I can't remember the man's name, but if you know, for example, Fear the Walking Dead, he's in that. He is, what's his name? He's been in all the seasons. He's been there right from the very beginning. I can't remember his name. I don't remember people's names. Like, I don't know stars anymore. I basically gave up knowing who any stars were about 2015, but I know him from Fear the Walking Dead, and he does have a deep baritone voice, so it really does sort of match for Unicron. To be honest with you, I think it was a pretty good choice, honestly, for voice acting purposes, right? Or tonight, fair enough. The wildfire, ashes and clouds are seemingly headed our way tomorrow. I mean, we've been lucky. Some people I appreciate have reached out and said, like, be safe, because of course they don't know the geography up here. There haven't been any here. I mean, we had rain today, but I mean they are happening for sure, and the effects are certainly being felt south of the border for sure. So for everyone, whether you're dealing with the smoke or the flames, I mean, be safe. It's really been I don't want to say catastrophic, but to some people catastrophic, but it's really been tragic. It's really been serious for Nova Scotia, especially for in and around and near Halifax, is my understanding. I'm not 100% up on it either, but all of our best wishes are with everyone who is suffering any of the effects of that whatsoever. Orson Welles. Okay, so since everyone's excited about Rise of the Beasts, let's kind of give my reaction to it now. So very first things first, I gave a ton of potential spoilers back in December, and I even warned people, if you don't want to hear them, then go away now. And we kind of reviewed what had come to pass and what could still come to pass a little while ago. I will say this: not everything that was leaked or that was in the information that came to me panned out this time around. A lot of it did, but some of it didn't. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not true. It could be on the cutting room floor, for sure, but it could also be for like the next installment or the installment after that. Let's kind of address this as best we can in chunks. So let's talk about the sound and the music first. Great soundtrack if you like kind of 90s rap, hip hop, that sort of thing. Starscream wife, she really enjoyed the soundtrack. I thought it was mostly fitting. A couple of songs I was like, I think I would have preferred something with a little more gravitas to it than what this particular piece of music is. Other times, man, it struck perfect. Then we have things like the blasts and the explosions. There are a ton of them for sure. There's a lot, but we'll get to that in a little bit. In terms of the sound, I liked it. You could certainly hear the explosions, hear the blasts, but it wasn't like an auditory onslaught like we've had in previous films where it's just this. I don't know. I've always found them to be almost like a wall of noise. But that being said, like, I kind of gave up listening to loud music about 20, 25 years ago. So I prefer that they kind of tone down that a little bit. So yeah, overall, I think the sound worked. The nice part is that the voices, at least in the theater I was in, the voices, like, you could hear all the lines clear. It was, when they were yelling, it wasn't too loud and hurting my ears. It was never drowned out by blaster fire and explosions. You could hear the lines delivered generally pretty darn clearly. And when there were things that required very big noise, in general, you didn't have speech going on at that time. So I thought it was a nice balance there. Visually, I feel like they went with a different studio for the Transformers this time around, and I feel like it's certainly crisp. It's definitely clear, but I don't know if it seems, to me anyway, quite as seamless, an addition to the like real world setting as some of the previous films have been. However, as I say that, and I say like, it's almost like there's still a certain cartoony touch nature to it. But I say that to say this. I think that the like body molds and whatnot are very clean, very crisp, very clear. You're not looking at a hodgepodge of parts and spikes and pieces and wondering what is this hodgepodge mess. All of the characters really have pretty clean robot modes, pretty clean vehicle modes. I think there are times where they opted to use the CGI vehicle rather than the regular vehicle. And I think it was to the benefit. I think it was done more often here than in previous films because we have a ton more on-screen transformations. Lots. I actually said to Starscream Wife, I said lots of on-screen transformations. And it's not just a mishmash of parts moving. Like, you can see the parts move. We've seen it in some of the I guess clips and trailers and stuff. Like there's one where you, in one of the trailers where you very clearly see Optimus transform. We've seen Cheetor transform. I had surmised that Cheetor might be more of like a blur type. He is fast, no doubt about it, but he is not a blur type, which is nice because it's not like a blur analog. He doesn't have a huge amount to say. Neither does Rhinox. They don't have a huge amount to say, but I mean, they're certainly there, and they're certainly integral to the events that happen. I think that the filming was well lit. Even the dark scenes are well lit. And I, being me, and as critical as I am, I went through the whole thing looking for things to cut, for gaps, for why is this even here? And I've seen it in all the others. For example, if we go back to, was it Age of Extinction, where Mark Wahlberg is talking to like his kid's boyfriend, and he's like, I'm a race car driver, and like there's a statute that says that she and I can date. Like, it's like, why are you talking about all this? You don't need it. It's a waste of time. I love the Bumblebee movie. There was a ton there that could have been cut out that would have totally not at all affected the story in the least. Charlie's best friend, he didn't need to be in that at all. He served zero purpose. All of the stuff on the beach when B is putting his head under the sand, or when he's falling around the house, and it's so funny, and breaking everything. Like, none of that needed to be there. All of that could have been left on the cutting room floor. I saw very, very little that could be cut here. There were a couple of things that could be cut, and there were a couple of times where something would happen, and I'd be like, okay, let's see how this pans out, or if they revisit it, or what. I will also say that I think there's a couple of threads, loose ends, if you will. I don't want to say loose ends. That's not right. There is no loose ends. A couple of threads that could be pulled in a part 2 or part 3. While this can be a standalone, I honestly feel like it is probably a chapter 1, but it could be a standalone. The whole reboot and whatnot debate, I don't think so. I don't think it is. Certainly not from Bumblebee. And you'll see why when you see it. There's certain explicit things said, and they're minor. That's the thing. They're not integral to the story, but they are minor that shows that linkage and that connection to at least the Bumblebee movie. And I won't say more about continuity right now. We'll talk about that a bit later. Let's kind of go through just a few notes that I had. So A Lot in December was right. There was a great soundtrack, as I already said. There was one, I'll call a plot point in particular, that Starscream Wife didn't like. It's very minor, but it does seem a little out of place because Mirage at a certain juncture kind of gives away Noah in hiding, and it was like there was no need for Mirage to give away Noah in hiding there. It served no purpose. So that one thing but I don't think it really changed anything. I don't think it ruined anything or anything like that. It was just one little thing that I didn't even notice it, to be honest with you. I didn't even think about it. But Starscream wife noticed it, and she said, I didn't like that particular. Honestly, it was one line. She said, I didn't like that particular line. The 90s references, especially from Pete Davidson as Mirage, are terrific. They're fantastic. Cable had said that he had ad-libbed a lot of those lines. So listen for them when you're watching the movie. They are fantastic. I think the story is the right length. It's not too short. It's not too long. I think the pacing is fantastic. Some people have said that they felt like the pacing was rushed because there are a couple of things that occur where there probably should have been more emotion or a little more gravitas, and they move on from it somewhat quickly. However, I would come back and say this, and food for thought when you're watching the film yourself. Think of the urgency that Unicron would entail. Even if something joyous is happening, you're not going to have time to celebrate it. If something tragic has happened, you're not going to have time right now to mourn it, because this devourer of worlds and his minions, led by the terrifying Scourge, and he is, if you've read his bio, he is every bit his bio. He is a terrifying Transformers nemesis. He really, really is. When you have this urgency of this, then everything else got to go by the wayside. So I think the pacing is good because it stays with the urgency of Unicron. Everything that occurs for a reason. The action that occurs isn't just explosions and bang them up for the sake of explosions and bang them up. It's action for a purpose, for a reason, either to obtain something or escape something or in defense of something. And it's made abundantly clear. A lot of people said that they didn't think that the human story was fleshed out. I think it was very well fleshed out, to be honest with you. Particularly the story between Noah and his brother, I think was extremely well fleshed out. Naturally, the biggest transformer to human interaction this time around is Mirage and Noah. We already know this. But again, I'm not going to say anything more about it than that. They have a good relationship. As I said, Scourge, absolutely terrifying. Arguably the best Transformers villain that we've had, especially where we know that he's actually in servitude to Unicron. Like, how bad must Unicron be if Scourge is this terrifying, right? I I love Air Razor, but I also love Michelle Yeoh. I think that she's a beautiful character, and an informative, wise character, which I think I would expect from Michelle Yeoh, to be honest with you. I was wondering how they were going to handle Unicron, and I feel like they've partially explained Unicron. I feel like there's more layers to that onion to explore yet. I don't feel like everything to do with him comes out here. Not to say if he is, still in existence out there or defeated or what, but I feel like the godly or devilish nature of the character means that there's more here to explore. And that's a couple of the threads that I talked about earlier that they could certainly pull on. Time will tell if they do it or not. What else do we have here? I like most of the Terracons. I think that Nightbird is great. She's also she reminds me a lot. Nightbird reminds me a lot of Shatter. And I like Shatter because she was kind of cruel. And Nightbird is kind of cruel. No, she's not kind of cruel. She's really, really cruel. The Freezers, they remind me of Frenzy. Like I said, lots of transformations. The character of Wheeljack, I'm going to say it now. Fine character. He's not the butt of the joke, honestly, that everybody's made him out to be. He's not the Urkel bot everybody's made him out to be. But he's 150 billion% in no way, shape, or form any iteration of Wheeljack. Not G1, not Bumblebee movie, not Q, not Earthspark, not Prime, nothing. This is not Wheeljack. They shouldn't have put the name on him. I will say that. Like I said, I feel like that this is a chapter 1. And I'll say this. I really enjoyed, and this isn't a spoiler because we've seen it now in the trailer as well. I really enjoyed the character of Ape Link. I like that. Honestly, I enjoyed most of the characters. I thought that one of the shining characters, honestly, was RC. And I think that the voice acting, particularly for her, was pretty much perfect because it very much homaged back to like her G1 / animated type of personalities, but you could tell it was an adaptation. I think that she was tremendous. On a score out of 10, for looks, for sound, for action, for continuity of story, for pacing, for a beginning, middle, and end that is logically connected the whole way through, and for leaving a couple of threads that could be explored going forward. I give it a solid 8, if not a 9 out of 10. I think it's arguably the best Transformers movie we've gotten from all of them. I think it's that good. And you know, guys, how critical I am. And I walked out and I said to my wife, I thoroughly enjoyed that. I enjoyed everything about that. And I did. I really did. I didn't know how I was going to react to some of the characters, especially the human characters. Thought they were great. Really did. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And the people and the bots that you're not supposed to like, you really don't like. Like, I think it was well done. The nicest part was that sometimes when there was able to be a simple answer or a simple explanation that was like a word or sentence, they went with it. And a lot of people have criticized that and said, oh, they should have said more. That seemed kind of stilted. But when you stop and think, in real life, do we always give these big soliloquies? I might. But do most people give these big soliloquies and monologues when they're giving an answer to something? No. Sometimes they just say, yeah, okay, sure, and move on with their life, right? I thought it was very realistic. If you haven't seen it yet, enjoy it. I've seen it once. I can guarantee you I'm going to see it again. 100%. The Rotten Tomatoes score is 100% not accurate at all. It's obviously the nonsensical, foolish ramblings of people that went to see a movie that definitely aren't fans and don't understand that the characters you're supposed to get invested in aren't the humans, they're the robots. If you're going to a Transformers movie, that's what you're getting invested in. So there you go. That's kind of everything from that, which also means that tonight I'm not going to go through any of the news related to, like, crossovers and merch and, the popcorn trailers and stuff, and blah, 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 because we already know that stuff, right? Tomorrow is the big day. Very glad that me and my wife got to see it last night. It was a really fun ride. I got to say, thoroughly enjoyed it. Take from that what you will. I don't think I said anything there that would be spoilerish to the story or to plot points or to what occurs with characters. I'll even say this. I think the pacing for fight scenes, very, very well done. Very well done. I watched the first 3, and as much as I love them, I feel like the battle scenes are just a hodgepodge mess of parts that I can't make any detail out of. Very clear detail here. Really, really well done, I think. Let's go up and see what you guys are saying before we go on to our other news of the evening. Like, you guys are saying that you're all stoked and built up. I'm telling you, the hype is real. I really feel like the hype is real with this one. Let's go down here. Hey, Shansi. Hey, Big M. Coleman Domingo. There you go. Thank you very much. Coleman Domingo is Unicron. Yes, thank you. That's the name. I knew I'd know it when I heard it. And honestly, I think he done a good job. And if you know him from Fear the Walking Dead, there are times when he's a very unsavory, unpleasant, like Strand sometimes is a very unsavory, unpleasant individual. And you can almost tell there are times when Unicron wants to be unsavory and unpleasant, but you can certainly tell like he's taking that part of his personality and putting it out, and you can hear that tonal change. It was well done. He did a good job, I gotta say. Hey, Lance. Hey, Blue. Even in the commercials, we're mostly looking at CGI vehicles, says Shansi. Yes, you're right. And like, I think it's the right move. You can tell, I found anyway, starting with Optimus, you can tell when it's the CGI truck and when it's the actual truck. They both look great. But when the CGI truck is used, again, I think it's used for purpose, and I think it was the right call. I really do think it was the right call. Hey, BS Prime. Hey, Warren. Shane and Tessa were filler. That's right. Shane and Tessa were filler. And that's the thing. In this, I mean, your humans are. I'll say this: your humans are real limited, right? You got Noah and his brother and their mom, and she's not in it a whole lot. That Reek guy that Toby What's His Jaws plays. I wouldn't call him a main character. He does serve a purpose for sure, but he's definitely not a main character. He's I don't know. I almost feel like he was. You remember, sort of, kind. It's not like that because I don't want to, um, like disparage Bernie Mac. But you know how Bernie Mac like sort of served a purpose, but he was kind of just there. Well, that's sort of how Reek is, but he does serve more of a purpose. And then there's Dominic Fishback. I can't remember Elena, and I think that's it. That might be all the humans. And it's a Transformers movie. It's focused on the bots. They're on the screen 90% of the time. B is learning his surroundings after all his what? After all he lost his memory? What? Okay, I don't know what you're talking about there. B, do you really want me to tell you if B has a voice? Like, is that really what you want? I'm not going to tell you. I hope that Rise of the Beast does not fail because if it does, there goes future plans. I mean, man, they're going out against some strong competition. You got Flash coming up super fast, pardon the pun. I mean, you got Spider-Man, and that thing has been a juggernaut, again, pardon the pun. And like a lot of their big movies. It's tough for any of them, honestly, to get to the top, Transformers included, because they're all worth seeing. Super Mario Bros, right? Like, all of these great films are in the theater now. And when we went, we watched this last night, and we haven't been to the theater since like 2019, I don't think. So like this was a big deal for us, right? And I was like, man, there's a lot of good movies here. A lot of good movies. I don't think he has a voice. Tragedy before funny. By the way, in terms of the humor, there's only one joke that I was like, I don't think you needed to put that in there. Other than that, the humor is used somewhat sparingly, but it's used effectively. Rise of the Beast, Scourge versus Tarn. I mean, I've said it before. There's overtones, I think, of Scourge in Tarn and Tarn and Scourge. And Tarn is eloquent and terrifying in his own way. I think there's a lot of Tarn in Scourge because he's eloquent and terrifying in his own way, for sure. Scourge is a Peterbilt 359. I meant in terms of character. Hey, Heathen, don't worry about it, buddy. Don't worry about it. Hey, Grimlock Gun. Yeah, getting your land legs back, I bet. I hope it was a good trip for you, buddy. 8. I already said 8. Let's go up here a little bit. Gotta go see this. I really want to see this. I think you should see it in cinema. I absolutely think you should see it in cinema. Brian says going Monday evening with your son. Can't wait. Enjoy it. I'm not going to say anything more, but I feel like if you're hyped up for it, it's worth being hyped up over. And I'm not trying to overhype it, but I think it's a really fun, cohesive ride for 2 hours. And here's the thing. It's meant to be this big globe-trotting over-the-top movie, of course, but it still keeps kind of the simplistic charm of the Bumblebee movie, if that makes sense. Did Starscream wife enjoy it? She did. Yeah, she did. It
was all right.
Yeah, but now, to be fair, you were like a little off kilter yesterday when we went to the mall and the cinema and stuff anyway.
But it was still just all right, Dennis.
I don't know. I thought it was really good.
Bumblebee was better.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I'm not like that at all. I look at Bumblebee and say that could have easily been a half hour. I love the movie, don't get me wrong, but like if you take out everything that could be cut from Bumblebee, it's about a half hour.
I thought it wasn't a bad movie. Here's the thing, it wasn't a bad movie, but I don't think it was like a super great movie.
Oh, I do.
All right. It was,
Oh no, I think it was super great.
It was a delicious little
She thinks it was a delicious little treat. What would you give it out of 10? I gave it an 8.
7.5.
She's saying 7.5, so she's a little less than me. Now, to be fair, I've enjoyed all the movies. All of them. But with the imperfections of the other ones, I said, yeah, but it's just big robots clamoring around. This time, I paid attention to the story. Like, nitpick attention to the story. And I think that it worked. Rotten Tomatoes audience score is 86. I thought the Rotten Tomatoes audience score was 56. That's why I said Rotten Tomatoes got it wrong when they had like 56. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not a bad movie. 86 seems about right to me. I think that seems about accurate. Nothing's perfect, but this is a good one. Critics score is 56. Okay. Who cares what critics think? Critics don't know nothing. I've usually said in my life, if a critic hates it, I'm probably going to love it. I've heard it was good. Haven't seen it yet. Take a lot of stock in your opinion, and I'm happy it was a positive experience. Absolutely was a positive experience. I am way late. Don't worry about it, Manitoba. Hey, Tetranova. Also got a D-box seats for ROTB. Yeah, I mean, why not? Feel it in your bones. Now, here's what's fun. I was about to say, here's what's funny. There were some D-box seats at the back of the theater that we were in, though we weren't in them. However, they were shaking so hard that we could still feel it. And I would say this. I think the times the seats shake makes sense and does actually pull you in. Starscream wife might not agree, but who cares what she thinks, right? She's wrong. She's wrong too. Only 7 bucks. Come on. I would want Lorenzo to be fired. He wants things fans want to put in the bargain bin of the waste dump. Okay. I don't think he's going to be fired. He's the guy funding it. That's what a producer does, right? I know a guy who gets called Bernie Mac sometimes. Oh, yeah, really? Is he as funny as Bernie Mac was? Rotten Tomatoes gave it a Studio Series 8 rating 86. Well, then the 56, whatever that was wrong. 7.5 still not bad. No, it's not. I think she's a little harsher than me. I'm not dead, but just a heads up. Okay. Give me that rumble seat. Right? Okay. Let's go on. Let's go on with some other news. But yeah, positive experience. It was fun ride. I still want to see Spider-Man. Haven't seen that yet. Still want to see Flash, actually. Might wait and see that one later. We'll see. Newage. They showed off images of their grapple, their Inferno, and their Bulkhead. Pretty much all the same mold. Bulkhead definitely has his own parts kind of up over his shoulder. When he transforms, it's very akin to the Voyager Legacy Bulkhead type of look. The robot mode, I think, is more inspired by animated, probably, but like a slender animated. It's like animated Bulkhead, like drank Slim Fast. Anybody remember Slim Fast? Is that even still a thing? Can you get Slim Fast anymore? Remember the shakes, right? A shake for breakfast, a shake for lunch, and then a sensible dinner. I remember those commercials. I don't know. They're all right. I mean, Newage is great. They do great molds and they look wonderful. I think the grapple and the Inferno are wonderful. The Bulkhead is it's not for me. I'll say that. threezero showed off their deluxe Optimus Primal. This is kind of the grayscale. A lot of moving parts. In fact, 60 of them. He's going to stand 11.4 inches in height. We saw him in his robot mode because that's the way he's being released, in his robot mode, apparently. I had wondered if it was a mix between the two, but apparently no, it's robot mode. That's a deluxe. So again, like I said, 11.5 inches. Also in the deluxe line, we saw Optimus Primal. Actually, we had like a video kind of showcasing a lot of, not Optimus Primal, Optimus Prime, showcasing a lot of like him with his blades and stuff. He comes with a slew of accessories. And then slightly smaller, maybe 8 inches, would be the Bumblebee that we've seen now a few times. They look great together. None of them transform, but threezero being as high end as what it is, I have no doubt that the dynamic poses and the overall dynamicism of these releases will be worth it for those who are in on it. I don't know if I'm in on it. The one piece of promotion for the movie that I will just mention, if you haven't seen it, it's worth watching. It's just a little featurette. It's on all of your favorite news sites, is the Peter Cullen Legacy of Optimus Prime featurette. And I felt like you could really understand his joy and his humility in being privileged to play this character so many times for as long as he has. Speaking of Optimus Prime, I'm going to mention this now because if I don't, I'm going to forget it. The crossover with Fortnite, just a little bit more information means nothing to me, might mean something to you. He is going to be a season 3. Sorry, he's going to be a level 100 tier skin for the season 3 battle pass, whatever that means. What it does mean, though, is that you are going to have to max your battle pass if you want to get the skin. So you got to max out your battle pass. Got to be 100 because he's a level 100 tier skin. Good luck if you play Fortnite. Good luck. That's all I can say to you. Good luck. We saw Battlemaster Air Razor released in Thailand. I mean, even in her blaster mode, I guess, like her head sort of tucks away and then there's like a blaster there and her wings still stay just splayed out. It's weird. Again, I mean, she always looks beautiful. The whole falcon bird thing, it always looks beautiful. I don't understand why they're doing all these characters as these little battle things. If you like it, then cool, go for it. Why not? Hero X, they're printing the classic Marvel comics for Japan. That's right, printing them for Japan. So far, there are 4 volumes out, volume 5 coming up soon. Each volume has 4 issues. So right now, with 4 volumes, that means 16 issues have already been done. I think they're also going to be doing the US and the UK run, if I'm not mistaken, but I can't corroborate that for fact, for sure. So make of it what you will. Let's see. We already got this done as well, so I can get that out of it. We got that done, so I'm going to go over here. Am I going to go over here? Is that what I want to do? Yeah, we'll go over here. Let's go over here a little bit, shall we? And you see me looking down because I'm wondering if I should talk about this now or not. I think I'll go back to that. I think I'll put a little asterisk by that because I got to go back to it. If you're interested in some of the G1 storyboards, WebWorld, the storyboards for WebWorld, they are now up on the Marvel Sunbow archive. We all know that website now. Again, cool to kind of look back and see some of that production material, as it always is. Kang Toys showed off their MP Snarl, who will form part of Volcanicus. Certainly stylized. I feel like in looking at that Snarl, and I'm sure he'll be colored like G1, and I'm sure it's splendid. Don't get me wrong, but I look at it and I'm like, I'm getting big, like, Age of Extinction Dinobots versions of this. Like, the sharp edges, the spikes. I looked at the grayscale of Snarl, and I thought to myself, that's more movie Snarl than it is G1 Snarl. Maybe you'll feel different, but to me, like, highly, highly, highly stylized Snarl. If I wasn't told it was Snarl and saw the robot, I don't know if I'd pick it out. But seeing the dino mode, I'm like, it's probably Snarl. It's probably Snarl. But it could also be an Ankylosaurus. So I'm not 100% sure, right? So that's my feeling on it. Make of it what you will. We saw better images of Black Arachnia and Tigatron from the, I guess, like Eternal Beasts, whatever, like the Beast Wars versus packs that they're doing. Now, this, is, of course, is the Kingdom one. Mine has a little bit of yellowing on the hands, a little bit of yellowing here and there. Luckily, he kind of had some coloration on him to begin with. The one from Japan is pretty much stark white. He has a much deeper green than the mainline does on his face, on his shoulders, down here on his pelvis, down here on his legs, and down on his ankle pieces. And he also has a newly, I don't know if it's remolded or certainly repainted head. It's definitely a little bit better. Is it worth trading this out to get that, especially when you are getting the Black Arachnia with it? I don't know if it's worth going through all that effort and expense, but of course that got to be up to you, right? I don't dig the Black Arachnia, as you know. This one is definitely painted more accurate. Still not perfect, but certainly more accurate. So, yeah, seeing the clearer images, it's definitely superior, but I don't know if it's superior enough that it would cause me to double dip. Might cause you to double dip. Art Hub for Kids. Now, I'm a teacher, and I can guarantee you that especially in primary elementary classrooms, especially primary classrooms, Art Hub for Kids is wonderful. It's a wonderful little add-on channel, site, whatever you want to call it, for doing guided drawing in art class. And then, of course, you get to work with line work and, all these sort of artistic concepts. And then you can, get them to get students to color it and whatnot after, to add in that creativity, to measure their their color usage and complementation and ever so many other things. Anyway, Art Hub for Kids now has a video of how to draw Rise of the Beast Cheetor. Man, oh man, I wish it wasn't coming quite this late. I really don't. If I get the opportunity in the next week or so to use that video, I might, but I doubt I'm going to get the chance in the next week or so. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I love that it's something that is even reaching those levels. You know what I mean? Something that, because that's more kind of mainstream, like that is a way to get to some pop culture. It's a popular site, especially, like I said, used in education. So I think this is great. They're fairly simple to do too, right? Like they're involved enough to be interesting, but simple enough that it shouldn't be too frustrating, depending on the age group, of course, right? But I love it. I think it's great. Wave 3, Earthspark Jawbreaker out in the US. So here in my neck of the woods, when it comes to the Warriors, when it comes to the Warriors and the deluxes for Earthspark, all we have is Wave 1, and we got that maybe a month ago. Hasn't been here very long. And now the US is already on Wave 3? 3? Which means you have Warrior Thrash, and now you have Warrior Jawbreaker, and I would think that Deluxe Nightshade shouldn't be far behind. I am drooling, I am salivating because I absolutely, positively want them. Really, really hope that we don't go half a year before they come here. Really, really hope. Love it. Absolutely love it. Wish it was here. If you're into Earthspark, certainly the Terrans, like I am, because they're different, they're unique, then yeah, go for it. Go, run, get yourself a Jawbreaker. Okay, let's kind of check in with you guys, and then we'll kind of keep going here a little bit. I know you guys have been talking. Just want to catch up. I'm definitely going to be skipping some stuff here, guys, because I spent a bit longer on the Rise of the Beast reaction than I wanted, and I don't want to be all night. Let's see. Whereabouts did I leave off? I think it was around here, where Caldeo says family arguing. How cute. Listen, man, it's been a day. Our lawnmower died. My fault. Completely my fault. Well, I'm saying completely my fault, though I don't really understand how it happened. Anyway, long story short, the engine.
What?
I don't understand how it happened because I don't know where that cap is gone.
Oh.
Makes me wonder if it would have happened if the cap. Makes me wonder if it would have happened if the cap had been in the and the oil cap. The oil cap was gone for some reason.
Okay, that is actually has a little bit of truth.
Right. So I don't know what was in there after that or anything like that. But anyway, I had already used it once. I was going to use it today for a second lawn mowing, and it seems like the oil is all gone. Now, whether I used it up and didn't realize it, the thing says no oil changes needed. I don't know anything about machines. I don't know anything about tools. I was like, cool, yay, because I was never going to change the oil in it anyway. I don't know how to do that stuff. What do I look like? Grimlock gone? I bet you he knows how to do it. I don't know this stuff. It's not part of my world. I don't even like going outdoors. I'm an indoors guy. I'm not a tools guy. I'm not, right? So anyway, long story short, the engine or the motor, whatever, seems like it's seized. And in talking to the local service place, they're like, yeah, that's probably seized up. That's you probably just go out and get a new one. So we went out and got a new one. So it's been that kind of a day. 4D person in front throwing car parts at you. What? I don't know what that is, but okay. Slim Fast. Yeah. Oh yeah, Slim. Right. Man, that makes me feel old. Slim Fast. Everybody feeling old now. Slim Fast. In your early 20s. I'm 45, so. Say Warren's 50. There you go. 2 months. Big M is a big 4-0. Meto was 52 on the 19th. Happy early birthday, by the way, because I ain't going to remember that. We go down here a bit. If I got to Fan Expo meet Peter Cullen, I want to autograph 4. Yeah, I'm never going to get to meet Peter Cullen. Good luck. I hope that he signs whatever you want him to sign. I don't know what an AARP review is. I don't know what AARP is. Yeah, I don't get that reference. I'm European. I built a wall around my lawn. There you go. Right? I respect first generation Transformers. How I got G1 reissue, Hot Rod, Earthrise. Okay. I have not had what? What's BPS? I don't know what BPS is. Bright plastic syndrome? I've never heard of that. I have no idea what that is. There's a wave. Well, there's a wave 3 of the warrior class for Earthspark. We got wave 1. Wave 2 isn't even part of my life yet. Wave 3 is Jawbreaker, warrior class Jawbreaker, and I think it's Starscream. I believe it's Starscream. Hey, Albert. I look a little like animated. I look a little like movie Wheeljack. No, I don't. And if you're saying because of the glasses, trust me, when you see him, I'm nothing like him. Need the cap to build pressure. If you say so. If you say so. Yeah, okay, yeah, check more. I get it. AARP is like a preparation for getting old. Okay, if you say so. Bright plastic syndrome, or BPS, is when a white plastic begins to change to shades of yellow. I've never heard it called bright plastic syndrome. I've just heard it called yellowing. You're the only person I've heard use that. Are you trying to make it a thing? Is this like Mean Girls? Are you trying to make fetch a thing? Is it fetch? I can't remember what the word was now. Starscream Wife usually knows this stuff. I can't remember. It was what Gretchen Wieners was trying to make happen. Anybody remember Mean Girls? I watched it far too often because of this one over here. Just saying. We saw. Let's get back to the news. Holy moly. We saw Legacy Bombshell. He has a purple chest. I was wondering if they were going to make it purple or gray. They're going with the purple. I think it makes sense. I know in the cartoon it changed to gray in robot mode, but it was purple in beetle mode. Is that what he is? Stag beetle, I thought he was. Cool. I think it looks great. Here's the interesting thing. One of the issues that I had, minor issue I will add, with Shrapnel is he has more hollowness than I would have liked. And I found that a little jarring. I don't feel like Bombshell has any hollowness. He seems like, when we've seen the pictures, he seems, for the most part, if he has it, it's very little, because he seems pretty full, man. He seems pretty full and solid. So can't wait for Bombshell. Hopefully he kind of arrives sooner rather than later, right? Robosin showed off the Rise of the Beast, 40.64 inch. Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime. It has Cullen phrases. It can do things. It has a stand for dynamic poses. Some people said that the stand got included because people were finding that, like, the original one would slip off surfaces and stuff. So apparently he's not supposed to slip off this surface. Make of it what you will. threezero also showed a Magnus. I didn't mention this earlier. I'll mention it now. But it's just the white Optimus Prime Magnus. So if you know the threezero Optimus, I think this is M Deluxe. If you know the M Deluxe Optimus, which is like the affordable one, the smaller one, you can get it in white for Magnus if you so wanted. He has a die-cast frame. Chang Toys, I mentioned, or Kang Toys, or Chung Toys, or whatever they go by. I mentioned earlier their Masterpiece Snarl. Well, they also showed off their mini Thor mini, which is the gorilla pants of their now Legends class version of Predaking. as well as King Mini, which is their line, which of course is their Razor class. So basically, they did the torso bots. They showed both of them off. Looks a lot like their MP iterations. Certainly not quite as stylized, and certainly not as many pointy bits and pieces, but definitely still stylized. Just not as much. What else do we have here? Oh, a clear red Battlemaster version of Cheetor. That's going to be put in with Beast Mode B or Beast Mode Optimus. That's the B with the bird in his chest, or the Optimus with the lion in his chest. It'll also go in with the Ultimate Optimus Primal in Japan. You're not going to get it. I'm not going to get it unless we order it from Japan. I don't know. Do you love that Cheetor Battlemaster? Do you need it in red? Do you remember when they did the Firebolt, Fire Drive, whatever, in red with the translucency stuff? Same thing with Cheetor, right? Make it that what you will. Same thing with Cheetor, right? Let's do that. I already talked about that. Let's see. Oh, there's these G1 and Rise of the Beast, and they're kind of like little super deformed, I guess, figurines, but they're pretty well articulated. And I can't, no, they're not super deformed. They're just like slightly deformed, like their heads are slightly big, maybe. Maybe their limbs are slightly big, but they're supposed to be quite well articulated. I don't know who makes them, though. I didn't note who makes them. The G1 offerings, and again, you can find this on, I think, T-Formers. You can find this on like TFW and stuff. Optimus Prime, Megatron, Ironhide, Ratchet, Jazz, Prowl, Skywarp, Thundercracker, and Blue Streak. All of those, they don't transform. They're in their robot mode, well articulated. For Rise of the Beast, we have Bumblebee, Optimus Primal, Robot Mode, Optimus Primal, Beast Mode, Optimus Prime, and Scourge. I think the Scourge is kind of adorable for how terrifying the dude is. They're blind. They're like a blind box thing, actually. So there's a number of them. They're 9 to 10 centimeters tall. The only one that has both modes is Primal. So, yeah, I guess. Oh, there's also a Mirage, and there's, I think, one that's going to be rare that's like a half scan Mirage. So like there's the actual Mirage, there's a half scan Mirage, and there's also a Bee and a Bug Bite. It's Movie Bee, and imagine him in white. You get Bug Bite. The Scourge looks a lot like Nemesis Prime rather than Movie Scourge. And then the Optimus also has a version of himself as basically Shattered Glass Optimus Prime called Optomics. It's the weirdest. All of those little figurine character things are the weirdest things. But if you're in for it, I don't know. Hope you have good luck with the blind bag, I guess, baby. YOLO Park, they showed a tease for Optimus Primal. There's been a lot of YOLO Park stuff lately. A lot of people are getting it, putting them together. They're kind of into it or putting parts of it together. It's not for me, but if it's for you, cool. We also saw. I'm going to get these two now. Hold on. We also saw revealed the first pictures of Leagacy Dreadwing. And of course, this is Skyquake. The Dreadwing, for those that haven't seen them yet, is basically the exact same thing. Doesn't look like there's anything at all new, except now he's going to be in blue. The orange chest is now red. The red down here on the arms is yellow, I think. And the face up here and the crest is also yellow. It makes sense. You wouldn't need to remold anything. But I find myself enjoying the mold more as Skyquake than the pictures that I see for Dreadwing. But that's an aesthetic choice. I think I prefer the mold in the green colors. But man, oh man, if you don't have this, if you didn't get this, if you were waiting for Dreadwing or something, like, get this mold. It is so good. It is so good. Will I get the Dreadwing? I don't know. It's just a repaint, so I don't know if I'm in for it enough for that. We'll see. We'll see when the time comes, see where I'm to, see where life is. And we also had revealed the Buzzworthy Bumblebee Dying Prowl. This, of course, is the Earthrise Prowl. A lot of people missed out on it. Makes me think a lot of people might want the Dying Prowl. The Dying Prowl is definitely in more G1 colors. Now, here's the nice part. If I was to get that, I could literally get rid of all of the lower body of this guy because there's a mushroom peg back here. I could pop all this off and literally put the new one on. I guess if you wanted to get rid of the roof and hood section, or roof and side window section, I guess, because it's translucent, you could also pop in and put on the new roof if you're so inclined. Here's what I don't like about it. I love, by the way, that, you know, they use gray on the legs, they use kind of gray in here, and they use gray on the face. This one used silver on the face, which is why I use silver on the legs and silver in here. But here's the thing that I don't like about it. I don't like the damage. I get it. It's dying Prowl, and his face looks horrific, like he's just about to have the smoke come out of his mouth. It's a great, great head sculpt for that horrific scene that kind of killed some of our childhoods, right? But I find it so funny because I was like, I wonder how accurate of a paint job I did when I customized this guy. That one doesn't have the little red lights. I would have to paint those on. That one has gray on the legs. I have silver. Cool. That one has what I think is gray on the pelvis. I have silver. Cool. That one has a full gray torso. I put a little gray line. The bumper is gray on that one. Bumper's gray on mine. I also have the little red lights that should be there. They don't have that. The arms, they're the same. The head is a new sculpt, but I like this head better. If you didn't get this Prowl from Earthrise, then you know what? Like, it's still a great mold and a great Prowl to get. It's too bad that they're doing I'm going to say doing them dirty like that. But if you don't have the Earthrise one, get that one, man. Honestly, I can recommend it. I like Prowl. I can recommend it. Not saying you gotta or anything like that, of course. It's your life. Do what you want. But, like, I think it's pretty good. I got to say, I think it's pretty darn great. Let's see here. And Tokyo Toy Show showed us some things, nothing new. I'm not going through the wide list of Rise of the Beast stuff that they showed. And the Armada the Armada Optimus Prime, and they showed the Nemesis and stuff. Nemesis is pretty large. When you see it next to the Armada Prime, you really get a good sense of just how big that is. Here's the thing about it, though. It's really tall, but she is real lanky. She is very thin, very skinny. But we already know that. We've seen the images. Here's what I will note. The Cheetor that's with the 2-pack. We saw better images of it. His arms aren't gold. They're still yellow. I painted my arms gold. But other than that, that's pretty much what I did here with the custom paint work. About the only things different is that on that one, the inside of the leg here is also blue, not just out here. And I think I painted that. I don't think that was blue. I think I painted that. And there was something else that was not quite accurate. But, like, again, that Cheetor, infinitely more accurate than the Kingdom one, and about halfway more accurate than the Netflix one. Too bad they couldn't fix the quality of it. And Rhinox. So this, of course, is the straight up Kingdom one. I still love the Generations one. The one that is part of the 2-pack is pretty much brown because he looks like the cartoon. Although I feel like that this is closer to the actual skin color of a rhino. His green is far more boisterous. He has his Maximal logos on his head. His gold is very nice. Even between the teeth here, we have the gums colored in on the mouth. It's obviously better. Again, would I want to double dip like with Tigatron? Would I want to double dip? I don't think so. But I also feel like maybe that's the versions we should have gotten all along. Make of that what you will. And the last bit of news, I'm going to check in with you guys, is some of the kind of leaks that came out this week. So I'm going to check in with you guys. We'll do the kind of leaks that came out this week. Where are they? Where do I have them? Not that one. Hold on. I gotta get my stuff straight. Is it here? Or is it here? Yeah, here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check in with you guys. I'm going to do the leaks and my thoughts on that, and then we're going to do the trivia. I'll check in with you guys again. We'll do the unboxing and get out of here. Okay, so we're going to kind of try and fly through this fairly quickly. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Um, yeah, sometimes it's so wild. I feel like the way I approach the chat a lot of the times. Joel just said that the chat seems so weird when I kind of comment on like every 10th message or something, but like I feel like the way I approach the chat, you really have to go back and read the chat. Like you really got to pay attention to the chat if you're watching this like after the fact as well. Um, hey Ken, if I didn't say it already, would you recommend Mean Girls to preteen girls? I'm thinking to show it to my niece's sister. She may start high school. I mean, I guess it depends on how old she is, but there's definitely a good lesson in there that honestly I think we could all learn, to be perfectly honest with you. But I think there's a good lesson in there. It's a cute movie. I gotta be honest. I don't when my wife puts it on because she enjoys it, I don't hate it at all. I mean, yeah, I can get behind not liking Regina George. I'm okay with that. Um my dad and I had the same name, so I was technically a member since I was 25. Um, Bright plastic syndrome is callback to. Yeah, I get that it's a callback to gold plastic syndrome, but I haven't heard anybody use it. It's an interesting term. Half scan is same what Toys R Us. Yes, you're right. Yes, the half scan Mirage, even though it's only a little blind bag thing or blind box thing. Yes, you're exactly right, Blue Raccoon. The half scan is the same. He's saying the half scan is the same as what Toys R Us did with their Dark of the Moon. I don't know what they call it, that line where it was the half scan thing, right? It's very much the same sort of thing. Did anyone lose the live chat? I didn't. I told you that the weather might be a little cattywampus here, right? Prowl is what? Prowl is awful skippable. What? Prowl is awfully skippable to my point. And this what? And the same you say is the reason you say. I don't have a clue what you're saying, Blue Raccoon. I'm sorry. I are you saying skip prowl? Is that what you're saying? I'm not sure. I'm sorry. I don't know what you're saying there. Um, the newer fixed the head on Earthrise Prowl. They repainted Blue Streak's head for Earthrise Prowl. However, for Siege Blue Streak was just a repaint of Siege Prowl. If you say so. If you say so, Ed. I don't know. I haven't sized up the heads that much. This head is the Blue Streak head. Like this head here is the Blue Streak head, I think. But like it's not. I prefer this head because it's not him grimacing in agony as he's about to have that stuff come out of his mouth, that smoke come out of his mouth and die. That's why I prefer that head. I don't like the like open mouth screaming and stuff. Like it's right on my nerves. If the blast chest was repainted, I'll remove it, and there is no way I'm getting that. Well, then don't get it. You know, I don't know why you got such a hate on for it. It's a great mold, and I think that this is a nice version of it. Other than the fact that the guy's been, blasted in the chest. I think they should have put him out again. To be honest with you, like don't do any of the fancy stuff like that. Just put it out again. Fans missed it. They want it. I love how you approach the chat. You cannot read everything. Yeah, I mean, we'd be here forever, right? Ash said that, I think. Nope, Joel said that. And Warren says, if I tried keeping up with the chat and the news, I'd go crazy. Fair enough. Okay, so what was leaked this week? Transformers Uni listings, including Deluxe G1 Optimus Prime. Someone speculated earlier that they thought that this would be the core Optimus with a trailer. I don't think so. I really don't think so. This is, I think, going to be just Deluxe Optimus. Voyager Vector Prime. Now, I love the original Vector Prime. The one issue that I've had with him is no biceps. Other than that, man, it's hard for me to dislike the original Vector Prime. I gotta say, I am Totally stoked to see what the new one is going to be like, though, for sure. Armada Galvatron, which makes sense. We have the Megatron coming. Repainting that to be Armada Galvatron makes perfect sense. Deluxe Magnius sounds like a rock. I'd love for it to be Rock Lords. That'd be great. Or some version thereof. And Core Class Boulder Clash. Think that's great too. Really think that's great too. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention this, but if you're a golfer, Betanandi Golf Equipment also is doing a Transformers crossover. So transform up your putter, your club covers, the head covers, the other paraphernalia. I think there's even a Transformers golf bag. Anyway, back to the leaks. There's only one left. Oh, baby. Buzzworthy Bumblebee Voyager class Origins Wheeljack. Yes, sir. Please make it happen. And please don't make it like Rise of the Beast Wheeljack. Yeah, some real good ones there. Vector Prime, Magnius, Boulder Clash, Wheeljack. Yeah, buddy. Very, very happy about that. Okay, let's do the trivia. And then I'll check in with you guys. I'll see what the kind of answers are. And then we will do the unboxing. You might have seen a couple of things I got from the movie in the thumbnail, but we do have a box. We do have a little box, just a little box. Okay, so I like this because it actually ties in with Rise of the Beasts. It ties in with the production of it, we'll say. What has voice actor David Sobolov, who, by the way, in Rise of the Beasts is the voice of Ape Link, is the voice of Rhinox, and is the voice of Battletrap. Most of us probably know him as Depth Charge from Beast Wars. What has voice actor David Sobolov said or claimed that Stephen Capel Jr. does that's unique to Rise of the Beast production? So something that Capel does that was unique to the production of this movie. Did he A, hold on, have the cast camp together to, I guess, build team rapport on a retreat? So like basically they went to like a team building exercise on a retreat. He and the cast. That's A, right? Cast camp together at a team building retreat. There you go. That's the best way for me to word it. B, had the voice actors work as an ensemble and they had to wear hats that had headpieces of their character on it. C, there was no catering. D, he would storyboard using actual Transformers figures. So, A, did he have the entire cast to build Team Spirit go camping on a retreat? Did he B, have the entire cast work together as an ensemble wearing headpieces of their character? Did he C, have no catering because we have no time to eat, we got work to do? Or D, did he do his storyboards actually using Transformers figures? A, B, C, or D? I'm going to go up just a little bit here. Let's see. And we'll see kind of what gets said here real quick. If the Prowl was gray like Sleepy Optimus, I'd be more interested as his sleepy friend. But like did he turn gray? I can't remember if he turned gray or not. I just remember him being blasted and starting to fall back, and then his eyes like turn red and his mouth opens and that horrific smoke comes out. Like more than Optimus dying, that haunts me more. Even now, like that scene, that was horrific for like 10-year-old, 8-year-old me, whatever it was, 9-year-old me, whatever it was. I enjoyed the Honest trailer. Unicron equals Mega Man. Yeah, the Honest trailers, they're always good. They're always a hoot. As we go down here a little bit, I try keeping up with the chat and news. I'd go crazy. There we go. That's where we left off. Skipping Prowl because which says chest blast hole. Yeah, I mean, that's up to you. I might get it and change out some of the pieces on this guy with that guy, to be honest with you. I didn't see Vector, but I saw someone review Armada Megs. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess, I don't know if he's out anywhere in the world yet. Overseas, maybe. I don't know. All 4 of the Studio Series 86 shuttle attack Autobots should have had death wounds. Probably. You're probably right. Last time I played golf was in college. Fair. Robeson, what? Robeson golf ball that will transform and walk into the hole. That'd be great. Q inputs answer. E, C, Q again. D, D, B. We have a B in there. We have a D. Apologies, but I gotta run. Take care, Ken. And the answer is, ladies and gentlemen, D. Yeah, he did some of the storyboarding using actual Transformers, which I think is great. That's just fantastic. That's really cool. Okay. So for the unboxing, so at the actual movie, I got, actually Starscream wife got this little, what is this? Little Maximal collector patch was there. Pretty neat. I like it. It's red. It's nice. And they had Till All Are One posters. And you know what? I'm going to say this now. I love the look of this. I love the color on this. And especially with the multicolor, the rainbow nature of it, it fits right in with Pride Month, right? So yeah, I like the poster anyway. I just think it's great. Now for the actual box. Here we go. Here we go, and then we're gonna get out of here. The actual box. I wasn't sure about this. I really wasn't, but I had to pick up Studio Series Scourge, baby. Oh man, my plan is to give him the name Burden because, of course, I already have a Scourge, right? So I plan to call him Burden. But boy, oh boy, man, oh man. Now, how accurate is this to the screen? I'm going to tell you now just a couple of very quick things. These are not the shoulders you see on screen. His shoulders are more angled down, rounded, if you will. The arms look pretty much the same. This blade is pretty much the same. I feel like his legs, his ankles, his feet, pretty much the same. The chest is interesting. So the neck is the neck, but it's shorter. The head is bigger. So the head to neck ratio in the film is better. As for the chest, this is kind of accurate, except it's sort of like angled up more. Um, this apparently was based on like production images when they were still developing the character. So that's why it's not exactly screen accurate. But man, oh man, he's great. I'm going to tell you now, he's going to score well because Scourge, as terrifying as he is pretty fantastic fun. And his truck mode is like, remember the movie Jeepers Creepers? That's what his truck mode reminds me of. Anyway, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. All the news. There's the reaction. The hype is real. Who cares? I've just given it 7.5. I'm giving it a solid 8. It was one of the most fun times I had at a Transformers movie. There are little nods to earlier movies, little nods to G1. By the way, you can kind of pick out, it's not the exact theme, but you can certainly pick out the Unicron theme when Unicron is there, and you know just the hint of it. And there's a ton of those in there. This movie is a love story to the fans. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course, hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Stick around, man. Have some fun with us here on the channel. And especially don't forget to hit the subscribe button. No, I just said that. Especially don't forget that somehow, it's been a long day, man. Each and every single day, you do make a difference in the world. I'm excited for you guys for tonight, for tomorrow. Go see it for Monday. Never, ever forget that somehow, some way, each and every single day, you right there, you do make a difference in the world. And I look forward to the next time, next week, you and I getting together to have another visit, either in the live streams right here Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres, or the old-fashioned way inside the videos.